What's going on, fam? It's Jaye Black here, back with another video. Salute to everybody that is tuning in. I do appreciate that. Now, I'm doing this video because there have been a lot of websites reporting on this, especially the NY Post. So with them posting this is why I'm doing this video. Now, something could change. Maybe Michelle Beadle will be back with the NBA Countdown show for ESPN. Well, we will see. But I feel like it's very interesting that she is in trouble of losing her spot, not only on that show, but at ESPN, because she makes a lot of money. Now, I'm going to read to you what this article says from the NY Post, and we are going to get into it. According to the NY Post, Michelle Beadle's ESPN career is in peril, mostly because of things no one sees on air. According to sources, Beadle makes $5 million per year. First off, I don't know how she's making $5 million a year. I just don't see it. Anyway, but refuse to take care of responsibilities outside of hosting the network's premier NBA show Countdown. Let me just say this. The ratings of the show, I believe, is in the tank. And I think it's in the tank due to her. Nobody wants to see her on that show. She sticks out like a sore thumb. She does not fit into the chemistry of the show. They want to be TNT. They want to have the show that TNT has. TNT has a very successful NBA show. Very successful. You know, they have very good chemistry on the show. Even before Shaq went on the show with the cast they have there now, they had chemistry, but the chemistry is still good with Shaq, probably even better. And ESPN wants to emulate that, but they have to fulfill their social justice obligations, which means you have to have a female on the panel, which you really don't need. Okay, if you're trying to emulate what TNT does, and what makes them successful is you have 4 NBA guys speaking and talking NBA. But because ESPN still has to fulfill their SJW obligations, they have this feminist on there who nobody likes, nobody wants to see, and you put her there with those other guys like the Tracy McGrady's, like your Paul Pierce and your Chauncey Billups, and the chemistry is kind of off. It's way off, you know. Let's see. Her failure to promote the program on outside venues, combined with her virtual no-show on the much-hyped morning show Get Up, has branded her a bad teammate and put her position in question. That doesn't surprise me either. You know, Michelle Beadle and Jemele Hill, before ESPN went through these sweeping changes, she thought she could say whatever she wanted to say and do whatever she wants to do. And what she realizes is that when a corporation starts to lose money, they're going to make changes. And they're not going to let you just say and do whatever you want. Michelle Beadle thought she was, she thought she was consequence proof, that she could say whatever she wants. She can chastise Stephen A. Smith, others in the media, talk about Donald Trump and whomever she doesn't like. But you can't do that. Jemele Hill found that out. That's why she's not there anymore. And I believe that they're ready to get rid of Michelle Beadle. They need to get rid of those feminist-minded SJW narrative supporters off of their network. Because what they're going to do is continue to lose your viewership. And I think they realize this, and I think they have reprimanded her before. And she's acting like she doesn't care. She has an attitude. She's making $5 million a year. I think they're overpaying her, to be honest with you. She's just a blonde, but at times seems like a complete airhead. But once again, I just feel like what they're saying in this, and what I gather, is that she's not promoting the show outside of ESPN. The ratings are tanking because Michelle Beadle doesn't care. She knows that you're not going to fire her, or she thinks that you're not going to fire her. So she does her obligations. And then after that, she doesn't care about the show, because she doesn't. She literally left the Get Up show just cause. And I feel like that's the type of attitude that you do not need at ESPN. A report last week by sportsbybrooks.com said Beadle is gone from Countdown along with analysts Paul Pierce and Chauncey Billups. That's not a big loss. I mean, I like Paul Pierce. I like Chauncey as well, but they need some energy on that show. They need some energy. You know, once again, they're trying to be TNT. You need your Charles Barkley. You need your Shaq for the comedy relief. The show is kind of dry, you know. It is. You need some personality up there. You don't need Blondie up there, who you know doesn't like her job. She doesn't want to be there, but she's there because she's paid $5 million a year to be there. ESPN sent out a press release saying nothing has been decided. Right now, the website looks as if it will be 2 for 3, with a chance to hit on all 3. In the upcoming Countdown shakeup, Pierce and Billups are unlikely to return to the show. Beadle still may survive, though is far from certain. On Countdown, ESPN will likely lose the host and 3-player setup, with non-players expected to be a part of the equation, according to sources. That's going to make it even worse. You need. Listen. I know that at ESPN you have people who are running that network who know nothing about sports, but in order for you to be an analyst, okay, you have to have either been a team reporter. I mean, you follow teams and you interview their players. I can understand that. Or a former player or coach. Why would you bring somebody on the panel who's done neither? That makes a lot of sense. According to sources, they will still add ex-players, with Richard Jefferson and Jaye Williams early strong candidates. I like Jaye Williams. Jaye Williams is cool. He did a lot of their college basketball. I think he's cool. Richard Jefferson to me is interesting. He's an interesting guy. I could see them putting him in that role. I just want to see how his personality, because he's not known to be outgoing, but from some of the stuff I've seen from him on Twitter, I would love him to bring that personality to their NBA Countdown show. Jalen Rose could survive the Countdown purge and emerge with the new team. I think Jalen Rose should stay on. I don't think he's the problem. He's been on that network for years. I don't think he's the problem. I think the fact that you have no chemistry on the show, there's no flowing chemistry. You can tell those guys really don't talk to each other like that outside of the show. It's like when the show is done, they just go all their separate ways. There's no chemistry there, you know? Before final decisions are held, ESPN has to figure out how to make Countdown special, an issue since the NBA returned to ESPN in 2002. ESPN's top pregame show was always being dwarfed by Charles Barkley-led Inside the NBA. The TNT show is an all-timer, while ABC ESPN's Countdown has gone through more failed rebuilding plans than the Knicks. that might be true. Increasingly, the two shows have similar viewership numbers, but Barkley and company dominate on buzz. That's because they are a better show. People tune in before the game and after the game. Okay? It's entertaining. Charles Barkley is one of the most entertaining people on TV. That's why he's been able to stay on TV despite the numerous amount of things that he has said that people would have thought was controversial, but I think that's just Charles being Charles. And you don't have another personality like that. Maybe there's a guy like that out there, but they don't really have it, you know? In its off-season meetings, ESPN will try to figure out how to change the show, with Beadle now the biggest topic. With her reputation as a teammate down and the show considered sluggish, her greatest asset may be her huge salary. And that's the problem. You're paying this woman a lot of money. ESPN is paying her a lot of money because of the type of woman she is, because she's easy on the eye for some people, okay? And because of that and the relationship she probably has built in on that network, they've protected her, and now they're not protecting her anymore because John Skipper, who was there for a while, isn't there anymore. I think he used to allow them to run amok, but they have a different leadership there, and they're not allowing people who are not talented or are not getting ratings to just say and do whatever they want. Stephen A. Smith, I believe, I did a video, is being offered the highest ESPN salary at $10 million a year because he is the biggest draw on that network. He is the biggest asset on the network, and they want to keep him, and especially keep him away from Fox Sports, who have more than enough room for him over there. Okay. And I just think that this isn't a loss, but I think her salary isn't at play. I don't know why you would give her $5 million a year. I mean, Stephen A. Smith, this guy was a reporter before he even got to ESPN. He put the work in. Michelle Beadle was like a courtside, reporter, but she wasn't out there writing articles, following teams. Like, she just was known for being blonde and a little ditzy, and very feminist. Still no man in the picture. Maybe so. I don't know. Maybe things have changed. But last time I checked, she didn't have anybody. But anyway, I think the best thing that ESPN need to do, they need to get personalities on their network. They got rid of so many personalities, either because of their political affiliations, because they may have been a little bit too controversial. They let Skip Bayless walk. I think that, well, they didn't let him. Skip left, but I mean, maybe they could have offered Skip more, but they felt like Stephen A. Smith was better. Right. But Stephen A. Smith can't be everywhere. Stephen A. Smith would be very good for their show, but he probably wants less and less of a workload. I mean, he's willing to do whatever, but I guess they want to keep him on one show at a time, have him do his, because he already has his own radio show that he does on the network, as well as First Take. But you need more than Stephen A. Smith. Obviously, Max Kellerman has no talent because you don't have him on this show. You don't have him really anywhere other than First Take. So he's obviously a guy you don't have a lot of faith in. So it lets me know you don't have a lot of faith in a lot of people on your network, either because they only want to do one show or maybe do an appearance here and there. And you may not, you probably are looking at the situation like, we need to get this particular person off our network because she's not listening and she doesn't care. And I think that by looking at these articles and looking at the fact that they don't see her as somebody who's bringing a lot of value to them, they see this as an opportunity to get rid of her because they don't feel like she's bringing anything to the platform. So if y'all need to read this article for yourself to get clarity, I will put the link in the description box. You can go and check it out. All right.